Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge, and this is Michael, your host, and it's with great pride and excitement and enthusiasm that I'm bringing you Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. I actually downloaded this last night before midnight, so I got it at a slightly cheaper price, about £5 cheaper. I'm running it on the PS5. It was released, well, the official release date is today, the 30th of October 2025. Digital Eclipse have done it again by bringing us not just a slice of history, but a big loaf of bread with lots of very important slices. This is a huge chunk of video game history that has shaped that particular side of it. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to try and not make the video too long. I haven't bothered doing little videos and trying to stitch them together with the Share Factory. I thought I'm just going to do it in real time because this is it's just too cool. And yes, I'm going to score the game straight away. This is pure 10 out of 10 bliss. Whether you're a Mortal Kombat fan or not, you really need to dive into this and just enjoy everything that it has to offer. And believe me, you'll be spending hours on this. Now, before I even played the games, as soon as midnight struck last night, I went straight into the crypt and I went into documentary. Now, you will find everything. Now, I'm talking here countless hours. It's not just this screen here. If you click on each title, as you can see along the top there, as I'm scrolling along, you've got countless videos to watch, countless images. This is absolutely incredible stuff, and you are gonna love it. And quite a bit of it is actually quite emotional, because you see Ed Boon and John Tobias, these two pioneers as they are today, standing at an arcade machine playing the game that they created, along with their fantastic team of, artists and creators and animators and all kinds of things, and the actors that played the characters that you control, with their physical prowess, with their martial arts talents, with in the case of the lady that plays Sonya Blade, Kerry Hoskins, her training didn't lie in martial arts, but she was primarily a gymnast, so she could do all these incredible somersaults, and she shows off her skills. And she's even a really nice lady when she's interviewed, when she talks to the camera. You see her as she was then when she was younger, and as she is now. And these are people that are so personable, you just want to just chat to them.
One of the really cool things about Mortal Kombat
and here's just a little example.
Games, if you have a really great winning concept, often they got teams that would put it in.
And here's John Tobias and Ed Boon. Look, that's how they are now. And here are the actors being put through their paces. Honestly, there are countless, and I mean countless, hours that you can spend in these various little sections here. So you've got this bit, you've got Mortal Mania, where again you have so many tabs that you can go through, so many images, so many videos that you can actually watch. I don't know how many hours that you could invest in this, but I was trying to stay awake last night and watch as much of these snippets as I could, and then of course I kept falling asleep. And before I played the actual games, that was this morning at about 6 or 7 o'clock. So there you have it. Now, we're going to tell you, I don't mind about spoiling this because the game is out, so you can purchase it, but these are the games that are available. So if you press R1, you can cycle through the various filters here, but you can leave it on all and it lists all of them, or you can go to, for example, in the arcade section, these are the arcade versions of the games that you can actually play. Now, they are exactly the same as the arcade in looks, in sound. They have every single animation frame. This is how they looked, and this is how they played, and this is how they sounded back then. So what you're experiencing, truly, after many years, we can actually say this is the arcade at home. So you have all the versions of Mortal Kombat that originated in the arcade. You've got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the WaveNet version of Ultimate, now that was considered lost media, but we can finally play it again. And Mortal Kombat 4. Now, to those of you that are wondering, this is not the Dreamcast version, that's not included. If you think about it, it doesn't matter if they include that with a later patch, because all Mortal Kombat Gold was the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 4, so it looks exactly the same on the Dreamcast. It's got a few embellishments here and there, but for me it doesn't really need a place here. All these games that you're seeing, not just the arcade versions, but if we move to console, all these versions deserve a place here. So Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis as it's known in the US, of the first one, and the Super Nintendo version. Mortal Kombat 2, Genesis, 32X, which is still Genesis, but it's that big mushroom plug-in. This was considered at the time to be the closest to the arcade original in terms of graphics and animation. It wasn't, but then again, I'm just a fussy old sod. You have Super Nintendo again, Mortal Kombat 2, which again was considered to be arcade perfect. It isn't, but it's closer than the Genesis version. Then you have Mortal Kombat 3, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, incredibly so. You could play that on the Super Nintendo, and it looks almost as good as the Sega Saturn version, which is the version that I bought. And here we have the original PlayStation here. We have Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which I bought when it was released back in Italy. I went to my local game shop, the next village over, and I bought it for 75,000 lira. I have the PAL version as well, but I've recently acquired the US version from eBay because, you know, I like full screen, full speed. Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero and Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Now, these two are considered to be bad games, but I don't think they are. Mythologies is just a bit cheap because it gets you with these cheap death traps. But thankfully, there are rewind versions to make the game considerably easier in this Legacy Collection. And Special Forces, you play as Jax, and you've got a lot of combos and firearms at your disposal. It's kind of a top-down version. It doesn't play badly at all. But even if these games were considered bad, they still deserve a place because they are an important part of Mortal Kombat history. So they are part of the family, okay? So they need to be here. When I said about Mortal Kombat Gold, that's kind of like a son or a daughter-in-law. So they've just come in from outside and they just know about the family, so they're wearing the t-shirt, if that makes sense. And then you get the handheld versions, you get the original Game Boy, the Advance, and yeah, amazing. You can actually play these as they were and as they sounded, and believe me, the sounds will annoy you, especially with the original Game Boy one. But, you know, again, you get to sample that slice of history. Now, I'm going to put Mortal Kombat, hang on a minute, let me go to the console. So we're going to go to Mortal Kombat on the Mega Drive. Enable cheat menu on, blood on. Now, for those of you that remember, you could only access the blood in the Mega Drive version via a code. I don't remember what code it was now. Is it BABBA, I think? Or was it the Dullard code? Down, up, left, left, A, right, and down. Dullard. It was one of those two. I remember when I played Mortal Kombat for the first time in the arcade, I was living in Italy and I went out to hang out with my friends. Now, groups of friends in Italy, we call them compagnie. But that night, they were all gone. We used to meet up in a car park in that estate, which was on the other side of a huge green from where I used to live. And they weren't there, but I found one of them in the ice cream parlor or somewhere, and you know, we both hung out that night. He said that the others had gone off with their girlfriends, which is fair enough, because I mean, we always congregated in that car park every night. But he took me to an arcade. He said there's a really cool arcade in, you know, the next couple of towns over. It was about a 45-minute drive, and that's where I played Mortal Kombat for the first time. And there were people there with bits of paper that were stuck to the arcade machines with move lists written on them. There were crowds of onlookers waiting their turn. When we eventually got our turn, the first thing that struck me was, but those are real people. And he said, yes, they are. They're digitized. I remember him saying, sono digitalizzati. And I thought, bloody hell. And anyway, this is the Mega Drive version. Now, when I first bought this, I thought I had the arcade at home, because I'd only just started getting into 90s gaming. I've been gaming since the 70s, but 90s gaming was a completely different thing, because you had obviously more animation, you know, different types of backgrounds. And I remember in the block of flats in the apartment where I lived, I used to open my garage in the evenings. I had my TV downstairs, and I used to invite my friends for garage sessions, and we used to play Mortal Kombat, believing that, hey, we've got the arcade at home, finally, we don't have to keep pumping money into it, you know, wasting all our coins and getting whipped. Here we can adjust difficulty settings and we can enjoy it the way we like. Of course, now, as time went on, countless gaming magazines that I bought, you know, they educated me, you know, in 16-bit, 8-bit, 32-bit, animation, graphics, resolution and polygons and everything. And, you know, I realized that the Genesis version of Mortal Kombat wasn't really very much like the arcade. It played very similarly, yes, it did. And you can activate the blood cheat, which is really cool, and that was the only thing it had over the Super Nintendo version, but the graphics weren't very good at all. I mean, if you do Kano's spin kick, you can count the frames. He's got 3 frames of animation, or 2 even, 2 or 3. It's you know, and I thought, that's crap. It just wasn't very good at all. So we'll go out of this one now. And when I played the SNES version, I thought, now this is what the arcade was like. This plays exactly like the arcade, and it looks like it. It doesn't have the blood. But back at the time I said, I don't care. The blood is just, you know, it's a luxury, so it's like the arcade, but so what? And as we know, Nintendo back then were very family focused. They wanted to create family friendly games and not alienate their, you know, countless young audience. And so they censored the actual blood. So all you got was a few beads of sweat when you belted someone. But we'll go into tournament and look at the animations. The standing animations are all there. But let's select Kano, or Kano as I used to call him. I don't know which is more correct. So, as you can see, the sprites are a little bit bigger, the graphics are closer to the arcade. And when you do his spin kick, it's, you know, it's proper, it's got all of the frames. Of course, Sonia's just whooped my backside, handed it to me on a plate. And these are the memories that it brings back for me, thinking, I hope the animation's good. Now we'll go into Mortal Kombat 2, and we'll give that a little example run in terms of animation. Now, when I bought this one, again, I bought the Genesis version first, because I thought surely they're going to improve on the predecessor by adding more animation frames. They would have read all of those reviews in the countless magazines saying, yeah, the graphics are not as good as the Super Nintendo. It's got very bad animation, it's got cut frames and so on and so forth. But when you look at the screen where you choose your character on the Genesis, the standing animations are arcade perfect and the characters are nice and clear until they start moving. And then you realize, okay, it plays like the arcade, it sounds very good, it's got some, you know, quite good clear speech, but the animation sucks. And you'll see what I mean. When you do Liu Kang's spin kick, you can count the frames again. He's got 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. But the graphics aren't good. They are quite faithful to the arcade. The sprites are reasonably large. Not quite as big as the arcade version. So we'll come out of there. I'm pretty certain there are countless videos on YouTube showcasing the differences between the arcade and the home versions, but I'm just sharing with you my experiences of it and why I love these games so much. Yeah, so then you choose Mortal Kombat on the SNES, and it's kind of a different animal. The animation is a little bit smoother, but the way they've done it is I suppose they've made the animation a bit quicker, so you don't get a chance to count the frames as much as they could possibly help it anyway. So we'll choose Liu Kang again. And of course you know that the Super Nintendo had superior sound compared to the Mega Drive. It had less garbled speech. So the animation is a bit smoother. You can still count the frames, but not as much. It always makes me laugh. That it just makes you wonder, what exactly is he saying? I think I caught something like "everybody on the beach," and Raiden's one was funny. I think people used to think he was saying, "Your mother's from LA." I don't know what he's saying. Maybe it's just a load of gibberish. But honestly, I could spend countless hours going through all of these comparison videos with you, and just showing you, yeah, it's Mortal Kombat 2. This is the arcade version, this is the console version. Look at the difference in the animation. I used to be a pain in the backside with things like that. And here's the arcade. As you can see, the sprites are a lot bigger. The graphics are sharper, they're more well defined. And you can't count the frames in Liu Kang's spin kick. And of course Jax kicks my backside. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Honestly, I could go on for hours about this. I really could. But for me, the crypt is where you want to visit first. Go into the documentary sections, and honestly, even if you think, I can't be bothered with all these countless hours of video, but it's fascinating. It really is. And one particularly cool part of the video section, I'm not going to remember which section it is. I think it's in the Knowledge and Power, if I'm not mistaken, but when you watch all the various videos and look at the various images, depending on what they're talking about and which game, you can actually play that game from the videos. And so the examples they give, for example, when they're doing motion capture, or in the when they were making Shiva, for example, the character Shiva, as you can see, she's a stop motion doll. They actually built her and they animated her frame by frame using stop motion, which is absolutely bloody brilliant. And this is the model that they used. And then a few boxes further on, and you can play, for example, Mortal Kombat 2. Ah, right, I can play it now and exactly see that example of how they animated Shiva. And I think Shiva's from Mortal Kombat 2. I don't remember now, but I'm an old fart, so I'm going to have crap memory for this. There's Motaro there. I think he was an exoskeleton that they animated and created him, created his moves using stop motion. It's just absolutely brilliant. And you get to see everything. You get to see behind the scenes. You get to see Ed Boon and John Tobias and their incredible team of designers, artists, animators, sound designers, and the actors that played the parts of the characters that you control. you know, with their physical prowess, with their martial arts talent. There's a bit there, the cool bit, I think it's called, is it John Vogel's home videos? Now, John Vogel, of course, as you know, if you're a fan, is one of the team. He was making a home video at one of the game shows, and where all the actors were there in costume, performing stunts and doing little act outs for the onlookers. And of course, these people were so cool about it. They loved interacting with everyone and signing autographs and having a chat with people. And John Vogel was filming all of this. And this was footage that he'd never released, and we can finally get to watch it, and it's just so cool. And I would really get this without hesitation. And yes, this is a 10 out of 10 score from me. Absolutely, 100%. You need to get this game. Now, the next review I'm going to be doing is Virtua Fighter 5 Revo. It's finally with us. I know I reviewed Ultimate Showdown a while back, but this is Revo, and I'm going to be talking a bit about that. You're probably asking me, why haven't I reviewed Ninja Gaiden 4? Because I don't have it on the PS5. I didn't really want to justify spending nearly £70 on that one, so I downloaded it on Game Pass on the Xbox, but I'm not certain how to do videos for that. Otherwise I would have loved to have reviewed that for you. And to be honest with you, I'm not really that impressed with it as I am compared to the others. But anyway, those are completely different stories. I would like to invite you all and entice you to, whether you're a fan of Mortal Kombat or not, if you're a fan, it's going to go without saying, you're just going to buy this without hesitation. It's very affordable. It's not expensive. I got it on pre-order for $35.99 in UK money, and it's absolutely fantastic. So 10 out of 10. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is Mortal Kombat, all of the games as they should be experienced. Before this was released, when I fancied a bit of Mortal Kombat nostalgia, I had to pull out my Xbox 360 or my PS3 and play Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection, which gives you the first 3 arcade games, arcade perfect in every respect, you know, look and sound and gameplay. But this is where it's at. Okay, anyway, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, my way of showcasing things for you. But do take care, and I will catch you all soon. Ciao, ciao.